All right, hey guys. So this is the beginning of what we call lesson 4, and kind of excited about this one because this is one that I've talked about from the get-go about the ability to say no and how important it is to think abstinence. Okay, so in this lesson we're going to discuss abstinence, and if I was talking to you face to face, I would ask you to try to define it. And I think there's a lot of things we need to understand about the definition of abstinence. So there's lots of ways to think about it. The definition we're going to use here, as far as our conversation, is not having any sort of vaginal, anal, or oral sexual contact. Okay. Now, just to remind you, these are 3 things that are kind of part of the sexual experience, and we want to do everything in our power to stay away from those 3, simply because any sort of experimentation around sexuality with those 3, again, vaginal, anal, oral sex, has the ability to do 2 things. 1, transmit disease, and 2, obviously, one of those 3 can lead to pregnancy. And those are some things we need to process as a group, okay? In addition, we talked about mental health at the beginning and how important that was to you, and the ability to delay your actions around sexuality are super, super important going forward, and making sure you understand the importance of that for your own mental health and your relationships and your ability to be a part of a sports team and all those things. So pretty important stuff. Now, one of the things you need to know is the majority of young people are not sexually active, and that is a fact. I think it's right around 10% or a little less of middle school students have been sexually active. It's actually a big deal in our culture and society for young people to choose not to be sexually active. And so our lesson today is going to focus on that ability to say no. And please understand too that every kind of group, every identity from our lesson 2, every orientation, all those things, everybody chooses at some point in their life to be abstinent. And even as adults, we choose, some adults choose to be abstinent for a period of time, even if they've been sexually active before. So a teenager who has been sexually active before has the ability to be abstinent. And we'd like you to consider abstinence as your number 1 priority as a teenager. And that's kind of where we're going to go with this. So there'll be some videos to watch, a few activities, a couple of links you're going to click, and then a little bit of a summary activity toward the end. So again, as we go forward through this, if you have questions, don't be afraid to shoot me an email, and we'll do our best to try to come up with some answers for you, either face-to-face via the computer or through email. So as the other lessons have gone along, this one will follow a similar line. You can do this kind of at your time. You'll have a couple of days to get through it. But I look forward to your work, and I look forward to your ability to share with you and your classmates. And I will be kicking out some of the information you share to your classmates, just like we did in lesson 3, so that you have the ability to really hear and see what other people think. So again, I appreciate everything you're doing, and I look forward to continuing this discussion. Thanks, guys.